everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Triggered. I'm your host, Zachary Clark, and you all know my co-host, Adam Furman. And we're coming to you live from the molten lead methane seas of Venus.
Intense pressure. I feel
we've actually built a cloud city here on the planet Venus, and we are sailing above the amber acid seas of this hellscape of a world.
You know what my favorite thing about Venus is?
What's that?
There was a story by, I forgot what the story's name is. You might remember. But I read this Ray Bradbury story about Venus, and it's like it's a science fiction story where this it rains every single day, except like one day out of every 7 years. And this girl was very hopeful for it. She was in a school, a classroom, and she was very excited for that day. And everyone thought it was like kind of, I don't know, like mythic or just, old wives' tale type deal. But the sun shone through. It was a good one.
Yeah,
good one. Look it
but
up.
they locked the poor girl away.
Yeah, they were bullying her.
Yeah.
Hashtag no bullying.
They trapped her in a dark closet. It was like her life's dream. She hadn't been born on Venus. She remembered the sun. All those Venusian children.
Oh.
Couldn't be bothered.
I don't remember that part, but, I probably was like 7 or 8 when I read that.
I read it recently. I think at your prompting.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Recommend. Just Google around Venus rains, the sun comes out one day. I'm sure you'll find it. Adam.
Ray Bradbury.
Ray Bradbury. We'll look that up before the end of the day. Maybe.
Early tangent.
Alright, well, let's get into it. First up, we have a rare glimpse into the very heart of the Scanner Radio. Scanner Radio headquarters. They posted a picture of the bunker where they, monitor the goings-on of not, I guess, only this fine area of the world, but all over. It looks like, some room in NORAD.
Yeah.
Tracking incoming ballistic missiles.
The Cheyenne Mountain Complex or whatever, Is that a world map?
Yeah, it's a world map.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I think it's got like satellite trackings in it.
Oh,
you got this over here, and it looks like.
Let's say, look, I got a view in it.
This here is.
Oh my gosh, 6 screens.
Yeah.
Is that aluminum foil at the on the wall?
Oh, it's probably some kind of insulation.
Oh, nice. Where are the guns? And the what is the MREs? That's what it is, right? The military rations.
Yeah, they got food for years, ammunition and guns enough to take on a small army.
Yeah.
And lonely Sunday nights, sitting in the bunker. And that's what it says. Another boring Sunday night in the bunker. Picture. And he says, anyone for a glass of milk and a game of poker.
Oh.
Maybe we should organize a game. We'll have to go visit the scanner person. Who knows?
At his undisclosed location?
Yeah. He might be coming to you live from the, surface of Ganymede. I don't know.
Yeah.
We're not the only ones with access to interplanetary travel, I'm sure. But you know who doesn't? People in France living apparently in medieval times decapitating school teachers.
Yeah, it's messed up.
Yeah. A Parisian was showing drawings of the Holy Prophet Muhammad to her class, a lesson on freedom of expression, and a man apparently went ahead and decapitated her related to this lesson that she had given.
That it sounds like a a lesson was learned, but not the outcome was not what was intended.
Well,
And I
don't
don't
know.
mean that.
This happened in the street.
Yeah, it's messed up.
It was a Paris street. A school teacher was decapitated.
Related to the drawing that she drew.
No, I don't
You know,
even know if she
she
drew it. She showed
No, you're
a
right.
drawing.
She showed a drawing.
It's a picture
For a
that
lesson.
someone made up of a guy
Yeah.
that nobody has seen. So a picture of a
Right.
random guy that they said this is the prophet. Showed that to some
Right.
kids. And,
Yeah.
and for this reckless and heinous heresy was decapitated in the very Paris streets.
Yeah.
Leading to her school.
Paris has had some huge issues with this over the years. Didn't they have like I want to say there was a bombing. There was an entire. Wasn't there an entire multi-pointed attack? That was a few years ago. Wasn't that for like the magazine? Charlie something?
Charlie Hebdo. That was the only thing I
Yeah.
heard about. Gunmen broke in there and started killing people.
Yeah. Well, there was also it escapes me, but I want to say that there was another like multi-site attack based off of something along those lines, and that was an Al Qaeda thing.
Oh, I don't know.
When ISIS was getting all the fame.
Oh, that would have had to have been recently then.
Yeah.
Not entirely sure. No, the only one that I heard of, like it was a particularly related to depictions of the Prophet Muhammad, was the Charlie Hebdo article. And then there was all those in support things that were like, we are Charlie Hebdo. And it's like the New York Times and whatever was posting this stuff. And apparently this publication was a vile rag tabloid that did all sorts of, what do they call them? Provocateur content intended just to elicit, outrage and whatever.
Well, they got it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying I was right or anything. I'm just saying.
I don't know. I heard what you said. You said that this is how it should be, and we should
I did not say that.
wreak a terrible vengeance upon the public whenever they defy our closely held tenets of faith.
Yeah, I don't think
We should use the state as an arm of the church to enforce religious doctrine.
absolutely.
Yeah, we talked about this a few weeks ago.
Yeah, bring forth the kingdom of God.
Yeah. With, state coercion. So you draw pictures of random guy, stick figure, and you label it,
Yeah.
this is the Prophet Muhammad, then you get decapitated in the street.
That's okay. it's interesting you bring that up because I know that there was the early church had an issue with that with icons and such, whether or not drawings of biblical stories or saints or whatnot was idolatry or destruction, and he caused a huge rift with is one of a few things that caused the Eastern and Western Church that just like piled onto that. But even now, I think that usually it's Protestants who really rabble rouse with that as far as the icons and stuff being idolatry. But I don't know, they don't take it that far. It's kind of like, it's just like you see it back when the statue of Saint Louis was it Louis X? Louis IX in the city of St. Louis had a bunch of people praying around it, and like the biggest reaction he got out of that from Protestants was, "Hey, that's idolatry," and like that's it, you know.
Well, I mean, I guess it is in a way. Any kind of images or symbols.
I'm saying though is they didn't, you know, you have people trying to tear it down. You had a mob trying to tear it down, and then I don't know,
they ought to. They should tear down all of these false idols.
Yeah.
That the Romans have erected. These heresies. I don't know, I can see it because it's like even if it wasn't statuary to some prominent, figure in church history, say it was a crucifix to the Lord himself, that you risk running into a situation wherein people seeing the depiction or whatever begin to envision that and put that as an image in their mind of what the Lord is that they're praying to.
Right. No, you're right. You get that. It's interesting because then you get this criticism, which I don't know exactly where it comes from. But a lot of stuff I'm seeing criticizing evangelicals is about the whole blue-eyed Jesus, right?
Oh, I don't know.
And you get that criticism from, and I don't know if I've ever seen. I'm sure there are pictures of blue-eyed Jesus, but that's where you were to like maybe adopt those beliefs, and then instead of praying to the author of creation for his own sake, substituting that for certain preferred attributes or whatnot. But it doesn't. There's a line there, right? At least that's what the church has argued over the past 1,500 years about. Well, you have that there. You have that cross or that crucifix up in your home to like, as just a reminder. Hey, this is who you should be living for. Versus, or like the picture of like the Last Supper or whatever. It's a reminder versus you pray to this thing.
Right.
So,
I mean, it's interesting. You can do that.
Yeah.
You have like artistic works, your Western, European Renaissance depictions of the Lord, or even more modern things. Where he's, the classic white Jesus or whatever. And I think blue-eyed Jesus classically comes from the film The Greatest Story Ever Told.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I can't remember the guy.
I haven't seen that movie. I looked at
the guy
like 5 hours long or something.
Jesus in The Greatest Story Ever Told. I believe has blue eyes.
No, I don't. I know, like, there's like artistic, like you said, there's like modern artistic and by modern I mean like post 1980, recent artistic depictions of them or whatnot. But I don't know. Even with evangelicals or Protestants who do that, there's no like you don't get any violence out of it. Is what my point is.
You do sometimes. What was it? There was the Our Lady of Guadalupe or whatever. Blue-eyed Jesus. In was that in Mexico?
Oh,
I think it was in Brazil or something.
Yeah,
and there was ripped from the church itself and thrown into a river because because it was some sort of idolatry thing going on.
Yeah, but I think I don't know. I'm not Catholic, so I didn't follow that 100%. But I saw that a lot of Catholics online were upset about that piece. I don't know. I don't know exactly what it is. Relic. That's probably the wrong word. But in that church or whatever. But I do know they broke in and they took it and they threw it into a river.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Here's what I'm saying. You shouldn't be praying to images and idols. And to the extent that you have images and idols in your church or in your home, then that depict the thing that you're praying to, even as a reminder or as whatever virtue or other kinds of signaling you're doing to people that come into your house. You just run the risk. And you have the same thing, it's just like white Jesus, but then everybody says, well, you know, what was it I saw? It was a nun, and she was running a Catholic school, and it was in the inner city, and all of her students were black kids. And so all of the crucifixes depicted, you know, classic crucifix Jesus, emaciated European-looking dude, with emaciated African-looking dude. They put black Jesus crucifixes up all over the school.
It sounds like doubly offensive. I don't know.
But, so then they'll see themselves in the Lord, or whatever.
That's not what they're... Okay. Maybe that's a discussion for another time.
But, I don't know. Because, like, alright, we don't know what Jesus looked like. You know, they didn't have photographs back then. Nobody was doing modern artistic realism. He didn't get himself a marble sculpture at the hands of, you know, whoever was doing the marble sculpting for the Romans back then.
You're right. He did not do any of that stuff.
So, we don't know precisely. And in that, much with your stick figure drawing of the Prophet Muhammad, it's just attaching a little caption at the bottom. Hey, this guy is Jesus, for purposes of this depiction. And it's just a bunch of made up garbage. Whatever, what do I know? I'm gonna go around with some bricks and start knocking out stained glass windows tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. Oh, why'd you do this? Oh, it shows a lamb. You're worshiping farm animals, you idiot. It's like, well, no. This is the story about.
That shell has 3 drops of water coming out of it, and I swear to the God that I pray to that that's not it. Smash. That depicts holy baptism.
Now you're the blasphemer.
Oh well. Anyway, Muslim.
You're praying to a fire. Oh no, that's the furnace that those 3 guys were thrown into.
Well, it might be. The Lord did appear in a fire more than once.
Yeah.
You can pray to that fire. So if the Lord appears in fire, you can pray to that. Otherwise, no earthly symbols, please.
and make sure it is him as fire, not just a fire he sent.
Yeah, well, I mean, who knows? The world's so confusing, Adam. Who's to know what's even real? Because, even the president's confused about what the real news is.
I don't think. Oh, oh.
You may have heard that the Babylon Bee offered some, excellent coverage that the President of the United States recognized as top news
Yes. You know,
just
it's
today.
not. It's not the. It's not fully the president's fault. The Babylon Bee has been fact checked several times, including by popular fact checkers Snopes and by USA Today. So, it's not. I wouldn't say it's entirely his fault, especially if he's reading that this fake news website is getting fact checked when it's obvious. Well, I shouldn't say obvious because some of the stuff that they've put out later on, it's almost prophetic. Some of their things, like, oh hey, guess what? We called this 2 years ago.
Yeah, they're heavily mocking a lot of things.
Oh, definitely.
This latest one was of the little kerfuffle. We might get into that a little bit.
Oh,
But
yeah.
the
With
bee,
the photos going around.
the bee was right on it. Almost immediately after they posted this article,
Oh, definitely.
they had to have it
Yes.
already in the can.
Oh,
Like,
sure.
President Trump declares the Babylon Bee his most trusted news source. It's like when I used to watch The Daily Show all the time before it went right into the gutter. That
Yeah.
was my favorite news source. The
They-
fake news.
It's okay, and then to compound this and it took me a little bit to realize this, but the Babylon Bee actually came out with I don't know, like 2 weeks ago or something, came out with not the bee,
Yes.
and it's like their own. I think it's one of those like they report they. That's not like they bring you the news. They like report on the news type deal, kind of like what we do here. But so their stuff for that is also to the extent that what is given is true and factual. That where they get it from, they're relaying that information too. So
Yeah, I believe the not the bee is literally news. They actually
Yeah.
decided to start making real news.
yeah, now you got that
Uh,
up. What a time to be alive.
Yeah. It's the absurd things that aren't satire that happen in our world.
Right.
The not the bee reports those. The Babylon Bee makes up satire based on this absurd reality that we live in, which is so satire adjacent that it is
Exactly.
impossible
Yeah,
to
that's the
distinguish.
thing.
Joe Biden proves he believes in science twice as much as you do. I'll be the
What?
judge of that. I don't know. I've not looked through Not the Bee too much, so it's hard for me to say.
No, I just stay on there. I just stay on their Twitter. I just will scroll on that for a couple times, but not confusing at all. If you just
But,
read.
well, I mean, did you know actually that the president and former Vice President Joe Biden aren't the only two candidates that are running for president? That, in fact,
Yes,
yeah,
I did know that. I don't know exactly. That's how it always is, right? There's always like, I don't know, 7 parties who run. You only hear about, you only see on TV, you only see the 2, the Democrat and Republican. You only hear about 4, which is the add in the Green Party and the Libertarian candidate. Recently, I mean that's a recent thing, but and then there's also like there's like an American Constitution Party. There's probably the Communist Workers Party will always throw something out, and I don't know, the Reform Party, is that still a thing?
yeah,
Or is that
I believe I believe that all of those parties do still exist in one form or
Yes.
the other. But you had mentioned the Libertarians, and apparently their candidate, Dr. Joe Jorgensen, knows how to meme.
Oh, definitely. that one is good.
I got the president of the United States retweeting the Babylon Bee is news. I've got Joe Biden doing whatever Joe Biden's doing, and I got Dr. Joe Jorgensen, Libertarian candidate for president, the only woman running in a one of the big four, I'll say, for president. And I did like this meme. 18-year-olds. Can I please have a cigarette or a beer? The U.S. government. Best I can do is war. Best I can.
It's just so good. I mean, it's sad. It's like it's a good meme.
Yeah. It's so true. If you hadn't heard recently, this great state of Illinois decided that you had needed to be 21 years of age to buy cigarettes and other tobacco products, including vape pens, which isn't tobacco at all.
No, that should just be banned.
You shouldn't ban any of this stuff.
Yes, you should. For being a loser doing vape pens.
I'm with Joe. I don't think there should be bans. Joe Jorgensen might pull my vote this year.
That's not entirely true, because you could buy lotto tickets, a.k.a. dump money into your state slush fund so that they can spend it on ComEd or whatever.
No. ComEd bribes them.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
Oh, but no, yeah, she's gonna get at least one vote in Quincy here. As I throw down my in-person voting poll ballot thing, even though it's pens and you fill in the circles of the Scantron form or whatever.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, by the way, Zachary, I found my voter's registration card.
You don't need that, but yeah, cool.
But we talked about that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, sweet. So you know where your precinct is?
Oh, I knew where it was anyways. I just, as we discussed, I was just going to show up and vote without any ID or.
That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go in person. All these people voting early. You don't know what's going to happen. The election is still 18 days, 17 days away. 17 days is a lifetime in this insane world we live in.
That meme sold me, though. So, I know who I'm voting for. There's no
she
changes.
Could be dead by then, is what I'm saying. You don't know what's going to happen.
Oh, my goodness.
You vote in person at the polls or you're a communist.
Early voting will be at the polls in person.
You vote
actually at the courthouse. At the courthouse, more American
than
my polling place.
You go to the polling place on election day. You get your piece of paper, you sign the book, you fill out your ballot, and you turn it in.
Sign the book?
Yeah.
What book? Your guest book?
We talked about that. Yeah, they basically have a guest book that has your name in it.
I never did.
It's like the Book of Life.
Oh, jeez.
And Peter's standing there at the pearly gates waiting to sign you
in. No.
No?
Anyway.
I'm sure I've seen this depicted in popular media.
Who's the Green Party? Who's the Green Party candidate?
Oh, well, let's see together. Green. Oh my gosh.
They believe that Wi-Fi gives you COVID or something? Oh, I gotta be careful with my words here. Was that Twitter would censor you if you mentioned 5G and COVID in the same sentence?
Oh, Oh, I don't know.
even if he has nothing to do with it.
Even if you were just mentioning the conspiracy theory that exists, wherein some people were saying that the
I
5G
don't know.
high-speed mobile and internet was spreading
Yeah,
coronavirus somehow.
you got some weird stuff and people just typing in lack of breath or whatever, and like it's like, get the facts on COVID. I was running and I ran out of breath. Get the facts on COVID. You don't even know. Oh my gosh.
Banned.
Just a mile. They didn't put out a candidate, did they?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Arkansas. Well, it's California. They have a bunch of Illinois candidates. They're not even putting up the thing. Alright. What the heck?
Oh, I forgot Kanye West is running. He's running
He is
too.
not.
He is. I saw his ad. It says, write in Kanye West.
You can't write in. He has to actually file papers in order for that to work. And it's different state by state how that works. It's not gonna work.
Oh.
No,
Yeah, you're
no
trying to keep
es
on-
bueno.
Trying to keep the man down.
Well, here's what I think. I think that Kanye, he's fine doing what he's doing. He doesn't need to be president. All right, here's the guys we got. Green Party, Howie Hawkins and Angela Walker.
Interesting.
I don't
The guy
know.
looks, I don't know. I have to look on him.
I don't know anything about these guys.
I don't know either.
I'm not aware of any memes that they do. So
Probably not. Probably incapable of it.
until they start memeing at the level of Joe Jorgensen, they're out of the running in my book.
Yeah, they're not gonna do it.
And I know Biden doesn't meme. The president
No.
only steals memes.
No, it's not
About
true.
him.
He had. He did. That's not true. He had like a meme guy.
Yeah, he had that thing where it was like when he was talking about buying Greenland for half a day. And then someone posted that picture of like a giant Trump tower in Greenland.
Yeah. No, he had like a meme guy who would do his videos and stuff. I think that guy actually got banned off of Twitter.
There are some pretty fire presidential attack ads against Joe Biden. If you just scroll through the YouTubes. Recommend. They're pretty entertaining, actually. They haven't convinced me to support the president, though.
I don't know.
And like you said, they're constantly in a war of censorship because we are literally living in George Orwell's 1984, according to Glenn Beck.
Oh.
He tweeted, just hours after Senate Democrats deemed sexual preference an offensive term during Amy Coney Barrett's hearing, Merriam-Webster actually changed its definition of preference to align with the Democrats. Do we need any more proof we're living in 1984? Discuss.
Wait, did he say discuss, or are you saying...
I said discuss. I don't know. I don't think Glenn here's ever read 1984 if he thinks that the fact that a privately run online dictionary updated its definitional terms based on a major conception of a definitional term is exactly like we're living in George Orwell's 1984, wherein a tyrannical monoculture was imposed on the people through a state of constant war by an omnipresent one-party system that dominated and surveilled every moment of your life.
Yeah, that doesn't seem anything like what happens today.
It's
Not
not.
at all.
It is.
Not at
In
all.
fact, I've never been taken.
Take out the mono.
I've never
mono party or whatever.
I've never
You
been
pretty much
taken
got
into
it, though.
custody and put a rat cage on my face.
That's in like 5 to 10 years, Zach.
Beaten, until not for any information or any reason, but mostly just to break my will so that I'll be willing to accept any kind of idea that they ask me to espouse.
You mean like confronting someone who... you mean like a mob confronting someone outside of a restaurant who's just trying to enjoy their meal, getting them to do
There
things?
were no mobs in 1984. If you formed a mob, I'm sure that you would probably be vanished away into the bowels of the Ministry of Love.
The mob was the government, though.
No, the government had no mobs. They would just show up and take you away, and you'd vanish, and then no one would talk about you.
Yeah.
You would not even exist anymore. Unless the state...
That's not true. You got re-released.
Unless the state said that you existed. And then you had to say and believe what the state said about your current existence. And how you were convinced of the righteousness of the party or whatever.
Excuse me, Mr. Dictionary. You changed this definition overnight. That's like, shut up, what do you know?
Start your own dictionary.
Make your own dictionary.
Yeah.
No one's gonna listen to me.
Why not?
I don't know.
Obviously, the Merriam-Webster's is corrupt. Maybe.
Little man, what now?
I don't know.
Hans Falada.
What I don't get is, how is sexual preference an offensive term?
Whoa, Zachary. How can you even question that? Because that's exactly what the dictionary said. It was offensive.
That's not what the dictionary said.
I thought that's what you just said.
The dictionary had a list of like 5 definitions.
Yeah.
It said it had the thing where it's like a use, and then it prefaces the use with offensive. So this is an offensive use of the word in discussion of sexual orientation and or sexual preference, to use preference for that idea. And to the extent that...
You're actually being offensive now, talking about this and questioning it.
I don't think this is true. To the extent that a person finds it offensive, that the dictionary displaying that in its definition is not wrong. I would say, though, on the other end, that to the extent that that use is not offensive to somebody, I don't know that that's captured. Unoffensive and offensive, depending on who you ask. So used as a descriptor of who people enjoy the company of. In the boudoir.
I don't know what you're saying. I don't know why you're laughing. I don't know.
The boudoir?
Okay, I don't know.
The word boudoir, is it one of those words that makes you chuckle?
Don't.
A boudoir.
Check.
It's Frenchy.
Google it. I don't know. Let's check what Merriam-Webster has for it. I don't know what that means.
If it's funny, boudoir.
I don't know what that means. I can't tell.
Let's see.
I don't know what that.
All right.
But
boudoir, like, a woman's bedroom or private room. The boudoir.
Oh, okay.
But that was dictionary.com.
Like a water closet?
They even have their own Wikipedia page, boudoir. A woman's private sitting room or salon in a furnished accommodation, usually between the dining room and the bedroom, but can also refer to a woman's private bedroom. Oh my. Ooh, it's getting a little bit spicy in here, discussing all these boudoirs.
Ah! So, yeah, okay, I don't know. But, Mr. Beck isn't too far off it. What he's doing is with the similarity with changing words and meanings overnight.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's not literally living in 1984, though. I think it's a whole thing.
Yeah, no, that's reserved to, be sucked into the book or whatever.
It's not just that, but you might recall, we were forced to read the book in law school. You didn't take that class?
Incorrect. No. We weren't forced. It was offered as an extra credit. So you could read it and then you get extra credit, or you could not, and then you don't have to do extra credit. But when you the kicker was when you did read it and you attended the discussion session with the professor, it was really just listening to the professor go off about how the government is in 1984 is literally what you're living in right now. So,
No, it was weird though, because when we discussed it, people were trying to say that. Well, I mean, I don't know.
Hey, get stuff like that. Oh man, what was that?
Being surveilled isn't the same as 1984.
The 1 million megapixel drone up in the sky that could see everyone all throughout the streets and whatever.
Yeah, being surveilled, there's nothing wrong with that.
The point, well,
there's nothing wrong. The thing about 1984 isn't that they were being surveilled. That wasn't what was bad about 1984's world. The bad part was that you were being surveilled, and if you said something against the party or whatever, or something heretical against whatever the correct thought of the day was, you would be rounded up and put in the Ministry of Love.
Even if people lied, like the kids tattling on on the parents, or like the spouse tattling on the other spouse or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, instances of that.
This is what I'm saying. It's like, okay, so if the only thing we have is mass surveillance, and even that I don't think we really have, because your megapixel sky cam or whatever, you don't have enough dudes alive on Earth to monitor the information that is being gathered by that device.
Yeah, that's why that's why you script AI programs or whatever.
Okay, I'm not afraid of AI yet. Maybe in like 30 years it might be smart enough to be able to appropriately track me.
Kick a ball or whatever. Yeah.
I don't know. It's not very smart yet. So, I mean, that's what people say. It's like, oh, it's like 1984 because the government has cameras.
It's an apt simile. I mean, the way that the context he used is talking about things being changed overnight, words meaning changed overnight, and there's actually a particular. Oh man, you got that? Do you have that itch scratched, Zach? There was a particular excerpt in the book, and you will remember this probably better than me, talking about limiting the way that people speak, because if you could limit the way that people speak and limit words and their definitions, then you can limit how they think.
Yes.
And to that extent, I'll just take the position there that to that extent, Mr. Glenn Beck is correct in his assessment. For us literally living in a fictional airstrip one of Oceania.
It's still not the same because it is imposed on you by police force. The coercive force of the state is coming down on you if you use the wrong words. Nothing is going to come down on you from the state if you use sexual preference to offend someone.
Yeah, not from the. Yeah, well, no, whatever. Maybe not.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's nothing like 1984, other than words exist, and the concept of using speech to control the way people think exists. But it's not being imposed on us by anybody but ourselves and the weak-willed individuals that submit to such tyrannical private action.
Yeah. Don't bow down to the golden the golden statue. Be thrown in the furnace instead.
Yeah. Don't apologize. monetize. And if anybody has been offended by this, I feel free to let you retweet this video and share it to all of your friends about how offensive it is.
Tag as many people as you can.
Well, they got to see it. They got to know about how horrible we are here at Triggered. And if there are any sponsors that would like to capitalize on all of the free publicity that we gain from these retweets, feel free to reach out to us. I'd personally like anyone to notice us at all, but that's never going to happen. Not until we try to do something, and then they'll be like, oh, remember these guys? Oh, they had that podcast. I went and watched literally 11 plus hours of content to try to figure out what kind of stuff they were talking about. And he said sexual preference at least 5 times during episode number 11. It was the 12th hour of viewing, and I finally got him.
That's probably going to be your response right there. Just cackling.
Yeah, well, you are. Oh. Plus, besides everything else, you absolutely do have sexual preference. And I don't understand the objection to that. No uggos. Number 1. What?
I don't know.
We've all got a list of things that are no-goes. I don't know. I'll just tell you. Anybody that says any different's a liar and don't believe him about anything.
If you have a comment on this, your list, drop them in the comments.
Oh yeah, and please do like and subscribe. Like this video and subscribe for more of this wonderful content. Be sure to share it with all your friends who I'm sure would like to discuss different kinds of sexual preference.
Hi, my name is Zachary Clark, and no uggos.
Number 1, no uggos allowed.
Number 1, no uggos.
Number 2, you gotta be alive. No necrophilia.
Oh,
no necrophilia in my ballgame. A human. In general, you don't want to bed down with beasts.
Okay, what's the next?
That's actually all I had. I thought we could probably run out the clock talking about 1984. But that's all of the internet stuff that I had today.
Oh my goodness.
But you should also all pick up 1984 by George Orwell. It is an absolutely fantastic book. And I would ask you to, when you read it, actually think about the characters and the stuff. I don't want to put any... Maybe we'll do a book review time on Triggered at some point in time and have a deep dive into George Orwell's 1984.
Ooh. Sounds fun.
Yeah. What we'll do is we'll pull some really terrible reviews of it off of Amazon. And then we'll talk about how these people are idiots. It'll be a good time.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe C.S. Lewis wrote this vulgar stuff.
C.S. Lewis.
This is George Orwell.
What a clown. Oh, what a clown. Anyway, folks, that's our show for tonight. Adam, did you have anything you would like to say to our viewers here at the end of the show?
Read? I don't know. Number one?
Number 1.
One word. Sounds like...
No. Number 1.
Oh, okay.
2 words.
2 words. Sounds like...
First word.
Cut. Done. No.
Second word.
No. Death.
No.
Choking. Crying. Using drugs. No drugs. Stay in school. I don't know what that is.
Uggos. No Uggos.
Oh, no. But also no drugs and stay in school.
Yes. Don't do drugs, stay in school, kids, and always remember. Get triggered. Have a good night.
Yeah, see you guys.